Welcome back to another basic checkmate video. Last time we went over the scholar's mate, and today we're going to go over the queen and king checkmate. This is a must-know checkmate because even if you're winning by a queen, you need to know how to finish the game. But very quickly, click on the subscribe button to stay updated on all of my videos. Let's say you captured all of your opponent's pieces and you have a queen and a king versus a king. If you don't know how to checkmate with the queen and king, you're going to end up just checking your opponent's king forever. There's two steps for this checkmate. The first step is to slowly trap your opponent's king on the edge of the board. To do this, we use our queen to make a box or a fence. Slowly, the box is going to get smaller and smaller around your opponent's king. Here's what I mean. Take a look at this position. The highlighted squares is the box, and the black king cannot go to any of those squares since they will be putting themselves into check. We need to get that box smaller and smaller, and an easy way to do that is by having our queen an L shape away from the king. Once the queen goes to C5, here's the box now, and notice how it got a little bit smaller. Let's say the black king goes to F7. We need to make the box smaller and smaller, and since the black king went one square diagonal to the right, we just follow it with our queen. We're going to go queen to D6, still keeping that L-shaped distance away from the king. Black's king goes to G7, and this time he went one square to the right. We're going to keep following it with our queen. Queen goes to E6. Our box is getting smaller and smaller, and black's king is slowly running out of squares to go to. Eventually, he's going to be on the edge, and that's what we want. King goes to F8, one square diagonal to the left. Let's keep following it with our queen. Our queen goes to D7, and finally, our opponent's king is on the edge of the board. So step one is done. Now, the queen cannot checkmate by herself. So step two is to bring our king closer and closer towards the queen to protect the queen. Because we trapped the black king on the edge, he can only go to H8, F8, or G8. Make sure to leave some squares for your opponent's king to go back and forth, because if one player runs out of moves, then the game is going to be a stalemate. And a stalemate is when one player has no moves to make and the game ends in a draw. For example, after king G8 and we go queen E7, king H8, and queen F7, now black has no moves to make. Black's king cannot go to any squares, and now the game is a stalemate. Here's a funny clip of Garry Kasparov. He was a world champion making a stalemate by accident. So make sure you don't stalemate accidentally a winning game. But moving back to step number two, we need to get our king closer towards our queen to help protect the queen. So here we're going to slowly bring our king closer, one step at a time. Black's king can only move back and forth on the edge, and our king is slowly getting closer and closer. Once our king is one square away from our queen, now our queen is protected, we can checkmate the king. We're going to play queen F7, and now that's checkmate. Black's king cannot capture our queen since our king is protecting the queen. Black's king also has no squares to run away to. He can't go to E8, E7, G8, or G7. Definitely practice this, and once you know the method, it's going to get easier and easier. Let's try it again, but this time I'm going to do it against the computer and explain step by step. Alright, now let's practice this checkmate using our queen and king versus their king against the computer, because practice makes perfect, and hopefully this is going to be a little helpful. So first we need to make a box around the black king and push the king towards the edge of the board. I can go queen to B5, and this is a box, or I can go queen to D3. This will also make a box. Let's go queen to B5 and see what they go. Okay, black's king went F6, king to F6. Now we can make an L shape away from the king using our queen by going queen to D5. That's the L shape, and also at the same time our box is getting smaller and smaller. So queen d5. Let's see where they go. Okay, king goes to g6. Remember that we just follow the king with our queen. We can go one square to the right, just like they did, queen to e5. And again, our box is getting smaller and smaller. So queen e5, and black's king goes to f7, one square diagonal left. Follow it with our queen, also go queen d6, making our box. All right, king goes to g7. We're gonna go queen e6, make the box. King f8, he's on the edge now. He's on the top row edge. And we can trap the king on the top row edge by going queen to d7. Just follow the king. And now the king can only go back and forth to these three squares. So step one is done. Step two is to get our king closer to protect the queen. So we're gonna go king to b2 and get our king closer. Black's king can only go to these three squares back and forth, and that gives us plenty of time to get our king closer. Back and forth, king e5, back and forth. Now we're gonna go king f6, one square away from the black king. And here we can do a checkmate using our queen. We're gonna put the queen directly in front of the king like this, queen f7. And that is checkmate because our king is protecting the queen. Black's king cannot capture. Black's king also cannot run away to any squares. So that's gonna be checkmate. And there you have it. That's the checkmate using the queen and the king. I hope that was helpful. Again, to stay updated on all of my videos, subscribe and follow along. I really enjoy making these videos and I hope that they're helpful for you. Continue practicing and getting better. I'll see you guys all on the next one.